How are you doing? What a night. We are in for another wild one. Every day, searching for MAGA to debate, research scientists, see if they actually want to have a discussion. Lately, they do not, ladies and gentlemen. MAGA are very hard to find anyone that's willing to actually defend what's happening. It's exceedingly harder to find these people. Surely, though, surely there'll be someone. All right. Thank you for being here. Testing. Perfect. All right, we're going. Awesome. How are you guys? Manny D. Poppy. How are you, man? Thank you for being here, as always. Hey, Ducray. How are you? So excited. Oh, nice. Cool. Hey, man, how's it going? What's up?
Oh, I'm just getting ready for the evening. How are you?
Good, man. Good.
I like your prompt here.
All right, cool. Sounds good. What do you want to talk about?
I farm in the Midwest.
Okay, sweet. Perfect.
And I was just there are some GMO things. We have a seasonal for morel mushrooms. Is that technically GMO here?
I'm not aware. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I'll have to research that. Morel mushrooms. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was another guy. Well, I don't know if it was a guy, but someone raised a question about wheat and like spraying wheat.
Okay.
And here in the Midwest, we do a population, so our populations actually choke out all the weeds, so we don't have to spray. But there's some stuff going around where people are saying that we spray chemicals on wheat, and I was just telling them that we don't do that.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, for all. So herbicides, for not you, for but everyone else. I mean, your product is out in the fields unprotected, and like the way that farmers protect their crop, their product, right? I mean, as opposed to basically getting it stolen from other plants or insects. Farmers have to protect that stuff with like pesticides. That's the impetus on it, right? They're defenseless. They're out in the field, so there's going to be some type of pesticides used, and some of those pesticides, the number one pest for crops is like plants, right? Because of basically a weed will take the same micronutrients as your crop plant from that soil and will impact their growth pretty poorly, right? So the idea is that herbicides is a type of pesticides, and all farming is tied in some way with types of pesticides. And basically, the farmers are trying to use as little pesticides as possible because it's expensive to use pesticides, but at the same time, genetically modified organisms basically allow us to do a targeted approach to do like less pesticides on average. Do I have that right?
Oh yeah. You're talking about pesticides for insects and pests.
Yeah.
And then we have herbicides for weeds.
Yeah.
And yeah, some wheat I'm sure is GMO, but here we have hard winter wheat. And I think out west they do hard red wheat.
Yeah.
And then some people are just, so there's many different types. And absolutely, I don't know the whole history of all the different variants of wheat, but it's really important that people know that in farming, we're very particular about our applications.
Mm-hmm.
And here in the last few years, we've gone further away from tillable practices, which is where a farmer would go out and maybe till up the ground up until about June, until all the weeds don't and all the seeds don't germinate, and then they would plant their crop. And then now we've been able to do a lot of no-till practices and mix in some herbicides, some pesticides, or not at all. And I have a wheat crop out right now, and it won't be sprayed this year. I might fertilize it.
Interesting.
But I'm not. There's no reason for me to spray anything on it because it's very healthy. But
Okay.
absolutely, that does happen. And in the Americas, well, this is where I grew up.
Yeah.
We have maybe a certain type of bug will do really well.
Yeah.
Like ladybugs or mosquitoes or something, whatever that is, or Asian beetle or whatever. But it always seems like every year or every couple years, there's always like one bug that just overpopulates and just does a detriment to the environment. So we have to be very cautious of these diseases that come through and bugs. But yeah, I don't know. That was my question for you, was the morale thing. But I appreciate you doing this. It's a really good channel.
I had heard recently about glyphosate being connected to nutrient density inside of fruit and vegetables, and I wasn't able to fact check this, so I'm just kind of like asking you, I guess. So do you
so we've always used we've used glyphosate in certain applications. So in our operation in particular, we don't do fruits here, we do seeds. Which is technically it's a fruit, but you're talking about like oranges and apple, like stuff with like very fleshy type outside.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't intuitively like if you use like overabundance of it, I could understand it. But how I understand like how a plant works, I mean, the nutrient density is probably going to be more about like breeding. Right. It's going to be more about like what plants we actually choose and which ones that are picked and sell well. Right. Because a lot of times what we actually grow in the United States is actually sold to other countries, and we don't actually eat it here. So that's kind of a weird thing. But
yeah, we do a lot of global. The Chicago Board of Trade's a real thing, and global markets are a real thing. My whole life, I've sold soybeans all around the world. What probably people are talking about now is so we only spray glyphosate on when it's in the flower stage. You're not spraying it like when it's like ready to eat. So glyphosate, and particularly your plant or our plants, the GMO ones, are not susceptible to that typical chemical. Everything else around it dies.
Yeah.
It does break down in the first rain, so it is being used up and distributed throughout. So it doesn't always stay glyphosate. So and you got to think as more of a chemistry type person and biologist or microbiologist. When these things get used up and absorbed into root structures or the leaves, it dissipates throughout the whole plant. But as far as someone measuring it and recreating it back in the fruit, that is not typically something that I'm on the science end of. Okay. We do measurements specifically for our practices. So minimum, we don't spray more than 10 to 15 gallons of water per acre of crop. And that crop could be corn or soybean, depending on what it is, it's going to change. And depending on your weed your pressure or something like that, it's also going to change.
Okay.
So the glyphosate is about, I think our last run was like probably like 5 gallon, maybe 7.5 gallon per 800 gallon water tank.
Wow, it's really diluted.
It's very, very, very diluted.
Wow.
Very diluted. And also, you're also talking to a guy who's played the games roll up the window before I get sprayed in the face with the boom.
Oh man.
So like it seems funny, but in my world, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
There's real scientists out there. There's real chemists and there's real botanists and people out there monitoring our crops every day, including myself. Whether or not, it's linked to all these things, I think is an absolute wonderful question, because also people need to realize that when we grew up, most of our equipment had a turtle or a rabbit on it. Okay. So it was like, hey, how much are you putting on? And back in the day, beakers and stuff like that, absolutely. But it was more manure based or animal byproduct based type fertilization and tillage type stuff. So this new era in the last 40 years, I'd call it 40, 50 years of chemicals and pesticides and herbicides.
Yeah, you're right. That's the green revolution.
Like right now, the technology in the agriculture sector has never been as strong as it is now. Like we've gone from here's a pump, here's a gauge, mix your chemicals accordingly, and then you're gonna have to do a bunch of manual things to figure out your measurements, to now we have sensors that go, oh, there's a weed there. Okay, we're going to spray that particular weed. Okay, oh, here's one over here. And then so we have section control. So all this stuff is always coming together where people, it's not like I'm going out there and I'm dumping 800 gallons of glyphosate per acre. Like I said, our last spray was probably like 7.5 gallon. And then it was also mixed with some fertilizer and micronutrients. So it's very small, it's very little, and it's only at certain stages within the plant.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and it varies for every commodity that people are doing. So I'm sure glyphosate might be on people's minds because maybe someone's trying to figure it out somewhere with Bayer or whatever.
Yeah.
But in my world, it's not the only thing that we're using. It's not the only thing I'm talking about. There are many other chemicals. There's many other things for different applications. I do wonder why people are caught up on the glyphosate thing. I do. Is that like a concern that you hear about a lot? Or is it just like something that's on the TV?
Yeah, it's being pushed because of the MAGA stuff, because of RFK specifically, and their people are lying and saying that it's tied to cancer and stuff like that. I mean, like there is it's one of those correlation, not causation things, kind of like the rates of our ability to detect cancer has increased. So now, the increase of Google Chrome is correlated with the amount of people that have cancer now too. You can kind of create any type of correlation and put two things together and kind of it's just kind of, unfortunately, there is a lot of fear mongering around it, and I think, I think there's.
Do you know what like a hormone therapy is? And like what your what thyroids are and stuff in your body. So your body creates its own hormones.
Yeah.
And I have a buddy. He is diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and he's flying all around the world, trying to talk. He's talking to doctors. He's trying to figure this stuff out. Like, I mean, this guy is an amazing human being in general, without cancer anyway. But what he's done is opened my mind to not everybody's diet is or should be the same. Your body chemistry and your diet and your environment might be different from somebody else's. So just because somebody else is eating something doesn't mean that your body, it's good for your body. So here in the Midwest, I'm very healthy. I'm 35 and I feel good and all that stuff. But he has found out with he like monitors his hormones and his chemistry, and he doesn't eat certain proteins. I don't know if that's because of the cancer that he's diagnosed with, or that's because that's what he's been following now based on his research. But I wonder if that has any kind of correlation with the glyphosate. You know,
So
I don't know how someone could pinpoint, hey, this chemical specifically is doing this to people, when maybe it's not in everything, but maybe people are.
yeah,
I don't know what they're monitoring.
yeah, you
Like,
really can't. Unfortunately, I mean, a lot of that stuff is unfortunately like pushed by people that are really like lying to people and taking advantage of people that are in like a vulnerable state. They have cancers, or they have, they're looking for answers, and they go to someone that's like a chiropractor posing as a medical doctor, and now they're kind of giving, they're getting some type of monthly subscription to some, the vitamin pack or something like that, unfortunately. And, the ways now that we can actually fight cancers like are a lot more like targeted through gene therapy approaches, through molecular biology. The chemotherapy basically isn't, there's a general chemotherapy, but now there's, really like personalized gene therapy approaches where it teaches your body how to fight your cancer specifically. So, because basically like there's no way, if you're going to eat something, to specifically target that cancer cell specifically, right? It's just going to be kind of a broad, your body is just going to take those nutrients up. And what happens actually is cancer has a way of actually taking more resources than it should from your cells. So if you actually like gave your body more fuel, you're actually kind of just fueling the cancer to spread and grow even stronger too.
I've always heard like people have if they find out they have cancer, they're supposed to fast.
Yeah, that's not that's not been. That's not that's not true. Yeah, I mean it's what people hear. I mean that's the problem, is that it's what people hear on these social media apps and these algorithms, but it's not connected to any type of evidence-based practice.
Wow.
Yeah.
And many cancers are different. And I would argue, if you're talking about glyphosate, I would argue, so that's probably going to be more for, and agriculture's changed, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still like using good old fashioned dirt. But if you look at many agricultural sectors, like in the orchard and truck crop industry, they're doing, it's fed by irrigation drip lines. And it's not even maybe in soil, it might be in a mesh. So I would argue that if someone were to try to figure this out, or was doing some kind of research project on it, because what do we know in science? It needs to be audible, it needs to be repeated, and it needs to have controlled environments, right?
Sure. So
if you're trying to argue this glyphosate in particular, I would go to an energy sector that has a lot of controlled variables such as that, because like the truck crop industry, I know they spray a lot, and these are fleshy type fruits that you're talking about, and they get sprayed way more than our crops do. And truck crops do too, because they're more susceptible to disease, not even just herbicides and pesticides at this point. Fleshy type fruits are way more susceptible to just diseases in general, root diseases or something in the air. So I would argue to be very specific and a certain commodity if someone were to talk about that.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good point. Thank you. Well, hey man, I do like on Friday nights we do like an expert panel. So we try to have people on that are like knowledgeable in their fields and stuff like that, and we talk about, because a lot of times like the MAGA people, RFK, kind of like talk about food and all that kind of stuff. So we talk about, we bring that up. It gets brought up a lot. So I'm just inviting you, if you ever.
Some of that RFK stuff, he's pretty good. He's been a good listener. Like I kind of respect some of the things he says. I don't haven't listened to everything, but
Uh-huh.
I think he's learning, you know.
I'm on the side of him kind of, doing more harm than good in terms of like vaccines, not using evidence-based, like science-based rationale for a lot of these changes and the recommendations. And, unfortunately, I think that he's harming children and elderly people, and he's hurting public health and kind of helping this measles outbreak that's happening right now for the first time since 1989 grow at unprecedented rates. So
yeah, that's a crazy one too. Like the vaccine. Thanks for inviting me Friday. I'll try to put it on my
Well,
calendar.
I mean,
But the vaccine one,
we
man,
don't necessarily have like something happening. It's every Friday at 9 p.m. PST. So if you're ever on and you come on and we're talking about farming or anything that you're knowledgeable about, I'd love to invite you up. So yeah,
I appreciate that.
yeah.
I do want to. This is one thing I didn't like about the vaccines, and this was the COVID one, right? So the it takes, from what I understand, 10 years if someone wants to implement a vaccine into the general population. It takes like 10 years. And this last vaccine, the reason a lot of people were on the fence was because they pushed it faster than its controlled date. Can you give me a little bit of insight on that? Am I hearing that correct? Or
no, unfortunately, it
I
was.
think that pushed a lot of people away.
Yeah, it was a lot of fear mongering. Yeah, it was a lot of fear mongering. I mean, basically the technology that had been used was developed since 1987, and then it was used in mammals since early 2000s, and then it was used as a personalized cancer medicine since like 2015, and basically it's called like mRNA with like there's lipids that are coating the mRNA to get it into the cell, and they did use this technology for the first time for vaccines, but it wasn't the first time for humans. And the vaccine's actually kind of like trivial to make. It's just a small change in the nucleotides, and we actually make new vaccines every year constantly. So and it's actually way more difficult because those are live attenuated vaccines, viruses. So those are, actual viral particles that we're changing and inactivating versus just changing a small sequence. So we actually make new vaccines every year, like constantly.
You're in a lab. You're one of the people that helps do these things.
Yeah, I'm a molecular biologist. That's actually where that's the scientist that I am. Yeah, I'm 17 years.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
I have a friend. She's and I got to talk to you about this. She's a pharmacist. She's a doctor, so she's a pharmacist. But she went to school to teach pharmacy.
Okay.
And she got a grant from Wisconsin to build a lab and to hire individuals to help her at her lab, because you guys have to, like, for grants and stuff, you have to show the institution, hey, this is my project.
Yeah.
This is what I think I can do. And then so you're constantly writing and researching. Yeah. And I always had like this huge respect, and like some of the things, like when people talk to me and like when she talks to me, I'm like, she tells me like some of the stuff she's worked on with these different people. I'm like,
nice.
That is the most amazing thing. So whatever you guys like, that's so cool. But
thanks, man.
Yeah, sometimes what you guys do is way too smart for people, and you got to find someone maybe a little dumber than yourself to tell people what's going on.
Yeah, that was a big problem. I thought like during the pandemic is really like the science communication wasn't as good. I started doing science communication in the pandemic to like November 2020. And I think that there should have been like more scientists in the media, more scientists like kind of like in these spaces trying to like involve themselves. But it's tough. I mean, the state of scientific research is so far ahead than the common layman's understanding of what's going on, and it does have huge impacts, right? When it comes to like a pandemic, exactly right. We're seeing like the negative impacts of that. But yeah, man, it's one of those things where it's really frustrating because science has come so far. We've done so many awesome things, and it's sad. People and during the pandemic, there was a lot of scientists, including myself, that were like, okay, well, this is like a new technology for vaccines, so we got to kind of, allow people some time to, acclimate. And, because a lot of people were saying, oh, I'm not anti-vaccine, I'm just like skeptical of this vaccine. And unfortunately, that just didn't pan out. And now we see a lot of people that are just rabidly anti-vaccine, all vaccines now. And we're getting, huge rates of preventable diseases, everywhere in the United States right now. So, measles is not something the measles vaccine was developed decades ago, since 1989, and people are still not vaccinating their children. So it's sad. It's basically conspiracies that are being pushed on these social media algorithms that are kind of easier to understand than science. And that I think that's the crux of the problem.
So, and this is, so the flu virus, now I'm in the agriculture sector. So like milking cows, cheeseburgers, like that's what we do. And so the influenza virus was found in in the cow's milk, but it was dead, right?
Yeah.
So the cow has already gotten the virus, it's gone through the system, and now it's in the milk. And I made a comment. I said, well, why would I go get the flu vaccine when I can just drink the cow's milk? And there are some scientists out there that I think right now there's a person being watched with like a herd of her chickens, where she was like giving the chickens a vaccine and telling people, oh, you don't need to get the COVID vaccine because it's already in the chickens, whatever. And like that stuff to me, it's real. I don't know how much effect it has on somebody's body, because if you ingest it, through your stomach and stuff, I'm sure the biology is different.
Exactly.
But I was wondering, and maybe, with cancers and glyphosate, around here they used to do research on squirrels and deer, and particularly because they're the ones running around these fields and stuff. And I know some of the research got pulled, but I wonder if any of that has any, for your project, or your cancer project or whatever, if that would have any signs of, from human to animal, if there's a difference. Like, why would humans be getting cancers? And also, I think, isn't cancer also fairly natural to humans though? Well?
Yeah, I mean, we say cancer, but it's really hundreds of different types of diseases, because it's just, there's all different types of ways that the cell can become dysregulated and continue to grow and metastasize and infect and change the body. So there's a lot of different aspects of it. And
well, thank goodness there's people like you,
thanks,
to help us to go along with this, because I appreciate you. And
thanks, man.
I feel like I sound kind of silly, so I'm going to get off here, but thank you for letting me be on your show.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here, man. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Bye.
All right. See you, man. All right. Dude, what an awesome guy. That was so cool. What's up, guys? I see you, N80 N8S. 1 second. Hey, what's up, Dave Marwood? How are you, man? Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out. All right, let's get to it. N8S. Hey, man, how's it going?
Hey, good. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty silly to say that the last one you had, patriotism requires vaccinations.
Okay.
Is that what the prompt was?
Mm-hmm.
That feels like a silly thing to say. I would argue that it's the opposite. If you're a patriot, you wouldn't get a vaccination.
How do you define patriotism?
Your alignment with your nationality, with your country. Like you want to make your country.
I mean, that's more of like nationalism. I would argue that. So usually like the difference is like people are like patriotic values are more like compassionate and empathetic to your countrymen, trying to help fix problems and try to build community and solve things that we are all facing, versus like a nationalistic kind of thing is more kind of like combative with the world and us being the best, that kind of thing. But, so basically, I think that patriotism requires vaccines because, like, in order to look out for your countrymen, you have to not spread diseases to them, right? You have to do what you can in order to try to make people as healthy as you can. And that in order to do that, the only choice is to vaccinate. It's because viruses are real, viruses spread disease. And before vaccines, we had hundreds of millions of people that were, impacted by these diseases every year, worldwide. And it was making a huge negative impact in the world.
Yeah, well, I wasn't saying anything about being combative. I wasn't saying, combat your fellow Americans or anything like that. I was saying, look out for, I was saying basically the same thing you're saying.
Okay.
Sort of like you're aligning with your country, with your nationality, the people who are in your country, right? Aligning with them, helping them. So, there's like a basic law of nature, which is there's no free lunch, right? So, when you're doing these vaccines, you're kind of short-circuiting nature.
No. I mean, you're exposing you're exposing your body to a small portion of the viral particles. So you're actually creating a natural immune response inside of your body by exposing it to a small amount of the virus. So it's actually like the vaccines are actually pretty natural. They're a small or a weakened version of the virus that your body can train on. So I would argue that they are.
That's the old model, right? With polio and stuff, but not with the mRNA.
Yeah, it still is the same. Yeah, it is the same because you're just making a small amount of protein inside of the body as opposed to like your body being exposed to an inactivated or an evolved version of the virus.
I thought the mRNA vaccines were you're training your DNA instruction set.
So it doesn't change your DNA. What it does is that the mRNA, it goes into your cells. That goes from mRNA to proteins, and the spike protein is made inside of your cell, and that spike protein is the same as the virus. So you're basically only training on that small portion of the spike protein versus the massive amount that it would be in a virus, and that allows your body to create an immune response and learn from it.
So if I understand it correctly, the DNA is the instructions. The mRNA tells the proteins how to carry out the instruction set. Is that right?
Yeah, it goes from DNA to RNA to proteins. Like the mRNA is kind of like think about going to the library, which would be your DNA, and then you like the old school style, like taking like the instructions or something, writing down how to make your favorite, I don't know, a favorite cake or something, and then taking that temporary piece of paper and going home and then making the cake. So in that example, the library is the DNA, the note that you take down, that you jot down, is the mRNA, and then the protein is the cake.
Yeah, so I'm right. So the mRNA or the RNA, the DNA is the instruction set. The RNA tells the proteins how to complete the instruction set. That
Sure.
sounds right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but when you change the RNA, right, you're changing telling the proteins how to change the instruction set, and I think you can actually change the DNA that way because your cells can change your DNA. So if they carry out the instruction set wrong, they can change your DNA. They can go back and you can go upstream and change the DNA.
No, there's no mechanism for the mRNA to change your DNA. So basically
your cells can change your DNA. DNA can get changed over time.
Yeah, absolutely. Mutations accrue. Yeah, but DNA is stored and locked away inside the nucleus, and the mRNA has no mechanism. Isn't even going into the nucleus at all. So it's actually just making the proteins outside of the nucleus. So outside of that vault, outside of that library, you're just basically you haven't even gotten into the library yet. So you're not changing the DNA at all.
Yeah, not directly with the mRNA or whatever, but you're giving instruction. You're telling the proteins how to carry out the instructions, but you're changing the instruction set.
No,
That's
not
how the mRNA
no.
works.
You're not changing the original instruction set. You're not going back to the library, and you're not changing the original book at all. You're just getting a new way. It's like your friend giving you, in this example that we've been using, it would be like your friend giving you a new way of making a cake through a note, and you didn't have to go to the library, and your friend giving you that new way of making a cake through a note doesn't change the book, the cookbook inside of the library.
Yeah, but it's actually if you're so in your example, if you're going to the library, you get a recipe for a cake, and then your friend comes up to you and says, "No, make the cake this way; it'll be better." You're changing the instruction set. You're changing it because you're like, "This is a better way to follow the instructions." You're changing what the RNA does, and that's how the vaccine works.
There is no native original way to make spike proteins inside of your body. Like it's a new way of it's not normally making those like in that part. Like, so it's a new way of training something inside of your body, and it's not storing that information because that mRNA is going to be degraded and it's going to go away. So it doesn't stick around for that long. It's not like a permanent thing.
But it's a circle because the output from that can circle around and change your DNA.
No, it doesn't.
So you're saying your DNA can never be changed?
I'm a molecular biologist. My job is to literally change DNA inside of organisms. That's like what I do. So I'm telling you that like there are ways to change DNA, and I can outline them for you. I can tell you how to change DNA, but it's not through RNA. You can't just like give a cell RNA and it changes the DNA. It doesn't work like that.
Doesn't cancer change DNA?
Yeah. So mutations accrue. Yeah, absolutely. So
So exactly. So the output from the RNA can circle around and change the DNA.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work like that. No, because
so the DNA can never be changed.
No, DNA. So DNA can be changed. DNA can be changed by outside of the cell with things like ultraviolet radiation. It can be changed through like chemicals and things like that are causing mutations to accrue and accumulate inside of the cell. But just making a spike protein inside of your cell isn't going to have that impact. So it's not toxic to the point where it's making that change inside of the cell, inside of the nucleus.
No, but what I'm saying is it's carrying out instructions, or it's telling the proteins how to carry out instructions, but those instructions aren't necessarily what the DNA told it to because you're injecting them. So that can cause what it does. The way it works is it causes a mutation that gives you the ability to fight the virus or whatever.
No,
right?
It doesn't cause a mutation. No. It's just basically it's a short piece of RNA that just in and of itself is all it needs in order to make the protein. So it doesn't need to go back into your DNA in order to make that protein. It just has the entire thing right in and of itself. Like it itself carries all the information to make the proteins.
That's not what I'm saying. I feel like you don't understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying it goes directly into the DNA and changes the code. What I'm saying is, it subtly changes the instructions from the DNA, changes the instruction set to create new proteins that wouldn't come from the DNA otherwise. Mm-hmm. So you're sort of injecting a new instruction set, a subtle change to the instruction set, creating new proteins. Those proteins can circle around and cause changes to the DNA.
No, the spike protein that are being made from the RNA doesn't impact the DNA. It's just you create the protein from the RNA, and then the protein, the basically your body recognizes those spike proteins as a foreign object, and then your body attacks it And then it recognizes it and says, hey, this is a piece of virus and we need to save this information so that we can attack it for the future. So, and it degrades.
How does it save the information? How does it save the information?
T cells and B cells. It's your immune system.
Doesn't save it in the DNA?
Well, it's your T cells and your B cells. Yeah.
So the DNA has to, in order for that to function in the future, you have to have a code change in the DNA in order to continue that defense.
No, your T cells and your B cells like recognize like that antigen, and it creates an antibody for that, and it recognizes the ability and what it needs to make in order to have that, like that antigen, the antibody in the future. It's not going back into the original DNA. Like your body, like when your body is exposed to new pieces of virus or bacteria or something like that, it's not changing your cell's DNA. Like your DNA sequence. So your DNA that your sequence, like in your testes is, that is not like changing in response to your body being exposed to virus particles. It just doesn't happen.
So the library is where the information is stored. In order to have the information for the future, it has to be stored in the library. No.
So if you take your testes in the DNA that's inside there and you have a child, you're not, that ability in order to make that specific type of antibody against that particle is not conferred. Your babies are not birthed with immune systems that their parents were exposed to. They're completely new, and that's actually the danger, right? So they're actually super vulnerable. And their immune system hasn't been trained yet, and their immune system has to be exposed to virus and pathogens in order to actually build up that immune system. So it does not pass on. It's not heritable.
Is there a different kind of DNA in your testes than there's in your body? Because if your DNA becomes corrupted in any way, do you pass that on to your children? Like you don't pass cancer on to your children.
You can. There are cancers that are heritable. Yeah. But so basically your body has like, so you have like your inherited immune, like your inherited genome that are in your testes. But then as those cells differentiate from like stem cells to what you see like in your skin, there can be, in that cell replication process, there can be errors that happen, which is a way that cancer can form inside of your body naturally. So that's why, like for example, sunburns. So sunburns is when the UV radiation from the sun actually changes the DNA inside of your skin, and your body just rejects that because it's the DNA is too different. And your skin cells have a different pair of DNA sometimes, sequence of DNA than your testes, but like that's not a good thing, and your body doesn't like that. But usually, yeah,
okay.
It's
okay. So you don't pass all the DNA changes in your body to your children. So we're not talking about that. We're talking about the DNA that can change that's not passed on to your children. So your DNA can be changed and cause like a bad mutations, malmutations.
But that's not how the information is stored, and you don't, like, your body is exposed to thousands of different types of viruses and pathogens inside of your in your life, and it's not like having that information and being exposed to that stuff isn't going back into your genome and like changing it and inserting all these things. Like that just doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. So it's basically your body is learning how to make antibodies that correspond with these antigens, and it's storing that information in and creating those antibodies in cells, in the T cells and the B cells. They're not like, they're storing that information in the T cells and they're creating it, with the T cells and B cells, but they're not. it's not changing your genome. Does that make sense?
You shed cells rapidly, like super rapidly. You lose like thousands of cells every day, right? So your body sheds thousands of cells every day. Like when
Okay.
you're born, like from the time you're born to the time you die, you're if you just count the original cells, you're a completely different person because your cells have changed
But
so
like
much.
every 7 years. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So that has to get stored. So if you're if you learn how to if your body learns how to fight off the rhinovirus, for instance, as a child, and you're still fighting it as an adult, it's not stored in those cells because those cells have been shed. It's
No,
it's
no, it
memorizing
is.
that,
No,
it's
no.
storing that memory somewhere.
No, it is actually, and your body it does learn that, and it does create it does like create and create those immune responses over time. Like for example, people have like childhood vaccines. People will create and store that information for the antibodies for 30 years. The measles is a great example. People get 2 shots when they're a kid, and well into their 30s, they're still making those antibodies that are specific to measles. So like they that's well beyond the 7-year like turnover for like most organs. So yeah, your body does store that information in like your body. The immune system wouldn't have evolved if you just lost your immune system every 7 years.
Right, because it has to get the information from a database, and the cells are created from the information in some kind of a database. Like if you get a complete new cell set every 7 years, there has to be some stagnant database that memorizes that doesn't get shed with those cells. So it
No, the
can't be
T
stored
cells
either.
and B cells proliferate themselves. They don't go back. They learn and they confer and create that information, and they make new T cells from T cells and new B cells from B cells. That's how they store that information inside of there. And they're storing the DNA like in order to how to make the antibodies, but they're not like the spike protein sequence isn't being stored inside of there.
So it's stored inside the cells that you shed every 7 years, and they just continually pass it on to the next generation. Is that
Of
what's happening?
cells. Yeah.
Yeah. So the cells will confer the information without getting it from the DNA.
Yes.
How are the cells?
Yes.
How are the cells produced if they get the information to produce from RNA, and which gets it from DNA?
They get it from all different types of sources. They get your body exposes tons of different types of antigens, like basically are exposed to into your body constantly. So it's like RNA, pieces of viral particles, DNA, like a ton of different things. It's not even small minerals like aluminum and stuff like that. Your body recognizes that as a piece of a viral particle, and it'll like learn how to attack it. So it's just your body's constantly being exposed to these things and constantly creating this plethora of things that it can attack.
I know you're saying that, but what I fail to understand is if the cells are replaced every 7 years, and the cells are produced from the proteins that are told how to be built from RNA, who gets its information from the DNA. How are they getting the information if it's not in the DNA?
The T cells are being made from other T cells. That's why.
But doesn't the RNA produce the proteins that make the T cells?
Doesn't the RNA make the protein? No. The RNA makes the spike proteins from the vaccines. The RNA makes.
No, the RNA makes. I thought the RNA made all the proteins.
Eventually, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah. I mean, you make proteins from RNA. Yeah.
Yeah. So the RNA is taking the instruction set from the DNA. It's translating it to the proteins that are building the cells.
Yes.
So the cells that are getting built are getting the information out of the RNA, correct?
They are, but the T cells are getting the information from the protein. Like, are they getting information from one another when they're creating more T cells and B cells and bi antibodies from there? It's not like a complete wipe every single time. It's not. You're not like just starting out with a new immune system.
So are you saying that cells can be created without RNA?
No, there are. No, that's not what I'm saying.
So the cells need the RNA to be created. The RNA creates the proteins that create the cells. The RNA tells the proteins how to create the cells.
Yeah, the DNA creates the RNA, that creates the proteins. Yeah, and your immune system like learns from itself and the cells that are being like created, and like they learn what the immune system is and what it is, and the other, your immune system is more than like just a couple of cells. It's a huge like system inside your body with with your gut involved, with tons of different types of like your whole lymphatic system. It's a lot that goes on to it.
But your entire body is made of cells. Mm-hmm. So everything is cells.
Yeah.
So the cells are made from proteins. Every cell is made from proteins, right?
Uh-huh.
And every protein construction is told how to construct from the RNA. So in fact, every single cell in your body gets handed down instructions from your DNA. Every time a cell is created, it comes from the DNA. Right. So
yes, but that isn't happening. Yes, but your proteins that are being made from the spike protein from the vaccine are not going back and changing the original instructions and changing it.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
I know, but that's what I am saying though. That's why it's like it doesn't impact the sovereignty of your immune system or how your body is making things.
You're disrupting the pipeline.
No,
you're cutting out the DNA. You're cutting in there.
You are cutting it out on purpose. Because you don't want to go back into the DNA when you just want to make a protein. It's easier and it's faster just to make it from the RNA. It's more specific actually, so it's better.
Yeah. So you're cutting out the DNA. You're saying, hey, listen to me. Don't listen to DNA. And then you're creating these proteins, which could potentially build cells that could, like cancer, go back and change the DNA. So down at the end of the pipeline, it could. There's no like saying, there's no flat out saying it doesn't, because cancers do, right? Cancers do that. So I'm saying there's a possible danger of that, and maybe they haven't yet, but when you're messing with the RNA and DNA, it seems dangerous. It seems like you could do that. I'm not saying that that's happening now. Oh shit.
No, it's not doing that. It's like the proteins that are being made from the RNA that is being injected for the vaccine isn't disrupting your cell cycles, your background processes, your infrastructure on how the cell is working. It's not. It's creating proteins from cell. Like there are basically Legos that are around that your body is creating and creating new, like Lego ships or whatever from Legos that are around, and as they're made, they're disassembled and that's it. Oh, he left. Okay. All right, guys, don't spam. Okay. The intact antibody molecule has 3 functional components: 2 fragment antigen binding domains, FABs, and the fragment crystallizable, fragment crystallizable. with 2 fabs linked to the FC by a hinge region that allows the fabs a large degree of conformation flexibility. Yeah. That's how the antibody is formed, input output. Thank you. Yes. What made RNA stat processing proteins? What made it start? Well, I mean, RNA has the capabilities of enzymatic processes in and of itself, which is kind of cool. So it has the capabilities of doing enzymatic processes all by itself. RNA is a really cool thing because it can basically fold, and it can have capabilities in and of itself. It's really cool. Gabby, what's on my lapel? Iguana. It's just a flower. It's a flower. Thank you, Gabby. See, guys, with genuine questions, we are very nice with people, and we're trying to like lead them. You know, if people have genuine questions, then I definitely have no problem like talking to people. But you know, when we're talking with disinformation agents, then we are ruthless with them. But good, just interesting science questions. It's good to be gracious every time. Hi, yes, hi Ness. Hi, Ness. Yeah, waterproof sky. Yeah, exactly. The mRNA stays in the cytoplasm and is disposed in a few days. Yeah, it's the RNA is not going to be able to stick around and for that long, right? It's like a precious commodity. So I got it. Your pneumonia shot, Helen. Let's go. Nice. Yeah, the idea that, I mean, this is the idea that like mRNA just sticks around indefinitely inside your system, constantly making like spike protein is a really big anti-vax talking point. That's just wrong. All right, 1257, guys. Helen, 1258 on the board. Are you guys ready? In 3, 2, whoop, oh, nope. All right, there it is. 1258. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Helen, good work, Helen. Thank you for being vaccinated. Thank you, guys. Thank you for beginning your vaccinations. Every single shot, every single time we celebrate you, you get vaccinated. We spam V's for vaccine in chat, or MAVA for Make America Vaccinated Again. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Can you answer mine? Yes. I don't. K2. So you think it's dangerous to get now? No, K2. Like, not only is the mRNA shot like not dangerous to get, it's very safe, and it's going to be how you're going to be administered like a lot of different medicines in the future too. So it's an incredible thing. So yeah, I mean, it's a little like ill-timed. I would probably like the schedule right now is to the point where I'd probably say wait, just because you could get your flu and COVID in the fall, and that's really when the huge spike happens. So I'd probably wait maybe until then. Or if you're worried about not having it and you just want to get it done, that's good too. You could totally do that. So yeah. Thanks, Hannah. First one's free. What did RNA evolve from? Nucleotides? Yeah, nucleotides. The Miller-Urey experiment pretty much shows that it can self-assemble nucleotides. It can be created. The basic building blocks can be created. So there you go. I'm out of here. Okay, well, you just said the Earth is flat, so it's okay. Yeah. There you go. mRNA is why I have 2 aunts, sister, 3 cousins, and a best friend. There you go, Hazel. Yeah. But all your cells replace every 7 years, Sophie. Yeah, I know. That was, yeah, I know. It's hard. I think it's hard for people to understand that, like, DNA and RNA sound so similar that you'd think that they're impacting one another constantly, right? And it's just not the case. It's just not together. They're in two totally different areas that you just don't have to worry about, and just doesn't exist. You can get, in some cases, you can get pieces of RNA that does integrate into a bacterial genome. So this is how bacteria do save some of the sequences for an RNA virus. So basically that can happen. But a bacterial genome, there's no nucleus. So that's how it integrates into the bacterial genome. It's not going through a nucleus, right? It's not having to enter into that. So it just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that was actually an interesting discovery, that CRISPR, which is, and CRISPR-Cas9 does bind to DNA, but people did find that it can target RNA, which is a pretty cool thing. And it was a really cool discovery that it could do that. How do you remember all of this? My sister wants to be a biologist. Well, Hannah, I've just been doing this for 17 years, so this has been my job for doing science, being in this, kind of reading, learning about this. I've been doing this, for my career for 17 years now. So it's just like anything else, you do something for 17 years and it's just that information just sticks in your brain. And I love it. It's really interesting to me to figure out how things work. So I actually don't have to work in order to remember things. It's just, I just instantly know things. Once I hear something, I just instantly have that in my brain, because I love it. I love that information and I don't let go of it, and I do, by doing this, like the science communication thing, kind of, it really taxes my brain's memory. So I think that I am capable of kind of learning and recalling things a lot better. So that also helps for sure. Bianca, do you think it's possible to acquire an autoimmune from a vaccine, or what are your thoughts on them? Bianca, it's extremely rare, like extremely, extremely rare, to the point where you don't have to worry about it. So there's healthy young people are not developing immune disorders from vaccines. It just doesn't happen. What you should be thinking about are viruses and how the viruses will impact you. So, the immune disorder from measles that wipes out your entire immune system is a 30% chance of happening. So that is, it's called immune amnesia. If you're worried about an autoimmune disorder, think about your immune system getting taken out, and now your body can't attack anything. So it's very, very tough. Yeah. Okay. Exactly. It keeps me spry, and then I blow trees and beat it back down. Yeah, Bianca, no problem. Yeah. It happens, but it's extremely rare. Extremely rare. We're talking on the order of 1 in a million rates, so it's like getting struck by lightning or, dying in a shark attack at the beach. We're talking to the rates of when you go outside, are you worried about getting struck by lightning? No, you're not. No. So you shouldn't worry about vaccine side effects. It just doesn't happen. But the thing is, and this is where science communication gets tripped up, where colloquially, and since it does happen, people are like, oh, well, it does happen. But do you really think you spend most of your time worried about being struck by lightning? It does happen. Are you saying that nobody's ever died getting struck by lightning? It's no, but do you really think about it? No, because it doesn't happen. People don't get struck by lightning. Young people that are in good, healthy conditions don't get vaccine harms. It just doesn't happen. Studies indicate that EB virus is precursor to lupus. Oh, interesting, Hazel. Yeah, definitely do what we can. That's a long Yeah, that's the COVID associated thing too with EB. So that's another reason to get the the COVID vaccine. Not sure if you've answered this before, but why do some vaccinations happen once every years or once in a lifetime? Yeah, that's a really good question. So basically, there's a couple things that come through that. So it has to do with, one, how quickly the virus is mutating. And if there's a small amount of viral genomes in the world, more genomes means that there's going to be more errors that happen. So think about if you have 1,000 monks that are scribing, by hand, you're going to have more errors than if you have one. It's just going to happen. So the more viral genomes in the world means that there's going to be more mutations that happen. And that's what a pandemic is, right? So a pandemic means that there's a global exchange and spread of those viral genomes. So not only do you have a lot of viral genomes, but you actually have recombinations that's happening between viruses that creates even more mutations. So that's why pandemics are actually really bad. And then on top of that, there's the incubation time within your body to fight the viral infection. So when a viral particle lands in your body, the viral particle has to go through kind of like a ninja warrior course in order to go through these obstacles in order to get to the cell that it needs to get. So your body has the ninja warrior course, and then on top of that, it has kind of like the system that it has in order to dispatch to attack those viral particles once it recognizes it. And for some viruses, it takes a long time to get to that second point. So it has a long point in order to get through that ninja warrior course. So your body actually has like an ability to mount a defense. So then once it does get to that place, it can just rapidly have all those antibodies ready and then bam, takes them out. So that's what, like measles, the incubation period is about 10 days as opposed to a flu or SARS-CoV-2, we're talking 2 or 3. So that's another aspect of it. And then finally, it has to do with the vaccine efficacy, basically. Like how good is the vaccine at taking out the virus? So we're talking, most flu vaccines are kind of like 60% efficacy, because there's so many more viral mutations, because the incubation time's so low that they can spread more rapidly so that they can have more mutations. So those things kind of like all come together to say that basically are some vaccines that you can take for measles, for example. You can get two shots as a kid and it lasts you 20 to 30 years. But things that are shorter incubation time that have more viral mutations, that like the flu, like SARS-CoV-2, you need yearly boosters on top of that. So, especially during a pandemic, you need to have a strong antibody presence inside your body as much as you can. So that's why people were getting 6-month boosters. That's why they're, for people that are immune compromised, right? They're boosting up their immune system as much as possible so that when they do have their encounter with the virus, their immune system's already ready to go. So those are kind of all things going together to make that happen. Gabby, can you explain gene therapy? I have 2 boys who had gene therapy using AAV. Oh, adeno-associated virus vector. All right. I know the gist of it, but not the down and dirty. Okay, sorry. Yeah, Gabby. I mean, so I'm sorry that happened, but I mean, what a cool molecular biology like tool that you were capable of. I'm so happy that your boys had that capability. So basically, how we can attack specific cells is how do we know what cells to target. You know, we have an ability now to make a bunch of DNA. We have a bunch of these tools, molecular biology tools, but how do we deliver these tools? How do we know what cell in order to, to deliver that DNA or that RNA tool to? And so in a way, we as molecular biologists are kind of acting as viruses, right? Because we need to infect these cells with our DNA or our RNA that we want to be in there in order to make the tools that we need inside that cell, because basically it's just too hard to make proteins. If we delivered proteins, it'd be too inefficient and they're too big. So it's much easier to deliver DNA, to deliver RNA. And once we make those tools inside that cell, we know exactly. Oh, thank you, Bear. How's it going? Once we have that tool made inside that cell, we know it's precisely correct. So basically, as molecular biologists, we're kind of thinking as viruses, how to infect the cells that we want specifically. So, and a lot of times in biotechnology, we basically see something in nature and we mimic it by changing it just a little bit, tweaking it just a little bit for our purpose. And then that's the technology. So in this case, adeno-associated viruses are basically, they are pieces of virus. They are viral particles that have our specific tool, our genetic tool that we put into, that we want to deliver, that are going to change the genome of those cells, and that's going to make a CRISPR. It's usually like a CRISPR based tool, but the CRISPR is going to go and find that wrong part of the genome, and it's going to change it. And in order to change it, it basically has the instructions for the CRISPR gene therapy tool inside of its viral genome, and then and we can teach the virus to infect this specific cell that we want and deliver that gene therapy tool specifically to the cells that we want. So it's a really cool application of seeing something in technology. And we have a problem. We have a payload of RNA that we need to deliver. What can deliver things specifically to specific cells? Viruses. So let's use viruses and let's change viruses in order to deliver that specific thing. So it's AAVs and mRNA lipid nanoparticles are pretty much the two ways that we're going to be delivering these next generation of gene therapy tools for our lifetimes. It's going to be really cool. So in how and why you use the mRNA with lipid nanoparticles versus the AAVs is completely there's different applications for each one. They had Zolgensma, which saved my boys. So it itself, I'm super grateful, but the science is fascinating. That's so cool, Gabby. Yeah, I'm a molecular biologist. That's my field. That's like, so, what's funny is that as a scientist, I'm actually way more interested in like the gene therapy medicines. Cause the cool part in my brain is like the molecular biology, the tools, creating the gene therapy, that kind of stuff. The stuff with the human, and that's kind of like less interesting to me actually. Just because I love the technology and the tool development, and I love the research that goes into that, the changing of the genome, that kind of stuff. Not necessarily like dealing with the human, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's because I like to genome engineer. That's what I like to do. I like to change genomes around and make specific DNA for specific things, right? And that's why I like to work with microbes, because I can change genomes around. It's more easily there. It's easy to do that. Versus humans, it's like incredibly hard to change their genome around, right? But yeah, it's so cool. We are like entering in a new world with these new tools that we have. So cool. Oh, that makes sense. Is that why during COVID they tracked the second dose? Yeah, Hannah. They tracked the second dose of and all the dosages for for the vaccines just to make sure that people are getting it and seeing where it is. In a pandemic, it's important just to track that in general. Input output. AAV9 has enhanced capsid associated tropism for cardiac muscle and the ability to cross the blood-brain barrier. Then there are promoter, knockdown, and replacement considerations in the instructions. Oh wow! Input output. That's amazing. Thank you, dude. Are you a scientist too? That is so cool. Thank you for talking about that. I didn't realize that. Capsid associated tropism for cardiac muscle. So that's where it is. That's why it's associated specifically with cardiac muscle. That's really cool. That's really cool. Sounds horrible. They're what? Guacamole kid. Yeah. Why would that sound horrible? That's a Novartis product. Oh, thank you. Zolgenza. Okay. It's a Novartis. Thank you, input output. Got a scientist hanging out in YouTube chat, guys. Bare necessity. Science saves lives. Wish we could get back to respecting it like we used to. Yeah. Bear, I disagree with you there, though. I understand what you're saying, but I respectfully disagree with you in the fact that Democrats and independents still respect science. It's not a cultural problem. It's not a whole swath thing. It's specifically a Republican problem. Republicans don't respect science. And the problem is when you need 95% of us to adhere to something and you have 20% of the country that's MAGA and you have 50% of MAGA and 50% of Republicans, not respecting science, now they're not going to vaccinate. Exactly, Bear. Exactly. And them being in charge is exactly the problem. Exactly. But my point is that it's not and obviously they are definitely, having an adverse side effect. An adverse side effect. Obviously the Republicans are having a whole institutional attack on science. And I definitely agree with you, but I'm just saying that I think that we're not as far gone in the public eye. I think that's my greater point. I don't feel like science is necessarily been degraded in the public eye. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully at some point we can get MAGA back on board with respecting science. I guess that's to bring it all back together, right? Like we need to bring MAGA and MAHA back into actually recognizing science for what it is. And it's so funny because they sit there and they say, RFK is like, I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm pro-good vaccine. I want gold. What's it called? Gold letter science or something? Gold rated science. That's what he says. That's what he calls it. Some insanity like that. While defunding all 90% of science. Like, give me a break, man. But yeah, it's really frustrating. Whoa. Oh shit. What's up, Sinish? How's it going, man?
I was playing a song created by me.
As AI?
Yeah.
Okay.
But written by me for the the World Cup, previous cricket World Cup, T20 cricket World Cup for Nepal.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Do you want to hear that?
Sure.
Okay. Just Just a, okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. It sounds really bad. It sounds really bad. Okay. I trust you. Okay.
Does it sound bad on that
Yeah,
side?
it sounds awful. It sounds awful. It just sounds like white noise. Like yeah, it sounds awful.
Okay. Okay. I think that's a technical issue
Yeah.
because. All right. And what's new with you? What new with you right now, Doc?
Not much, man. Not much. Yeah, just been same old. I think I might be coming down with something. My whole family has like a GI kind of like virus thing going on. So it's kind of I just been napping like crazy amounts, man. Just sleeping all day. It's been crazy.
Doc, you've been infected a lot lately. Yeah, your family, yourself.
Yeah, well, the problem is there's 6 people living here and they all are like we have exposure at a preschool with my littlest one, and then my oldest 3 are going to school, so elementary school, so we're exposed to everything, man.
Yeah, and Doc, one thing I recently noticed from your post, from your regular post, that we are we are common in some way, the like you said the story about your mother, she was a nurse,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
and my mother was also a teacher, social
Oh,
worker,
cool.
and she taught me all the basic things that help me communicate with you. It's
Oh,
like she was my everything. But she was you should know that she is. I told you that she was died 3 years ago due to cancer.
oh, I didn't know that. Oh, thank you, Ness. Thank you. That's very kind of you. I didn't know that. I'm sorry, man. I didn't know that. That we share that too, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I really miss him. I mean, I really missed her, and and her knowledge or wisdom that always being with me.
Yeah.
and 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 as I told you before that I am mostly self-taught and homeschool person. No formal education, whatsoever.
Wow.
But I learned basic things. I learned basic things that I thought that is required by me. That is what is essential, not the whole junky redundancy things of knowledge. Where you never use in your life,
Yeah.
whatsoever.
That's incredible, man. I can't believe that you're mostly self-taught. It's incredible. Your view and your encapsulation of like big global problems. It's impressive, man. It really is.
And also, as I told you, I developing a game. I already told you that.
Yeah.
Autonomous technical RPG.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So I'm thinking of a story. I'm thinking of integrating my story into it.
Okay.
Like somehow
That'd be cool.
for public demo, and then want the reaction of people. That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, interesting. Yeah, dude. I mean, self-taught. That's like dude, that's incredible, man. That is really cool.
And the game is developed by not by PC, not by some IT or tool set. It's just by coded by physically disabled person.
Everything's vibe coded now, so don't worry about that.
That's the motto, and also everything is vibe coded by physical disabled person from Nepal with phone.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's incredible that you're doing it all from your from your phone too. I think that's so cool. You're just working
You
with
know,
whatever you have, man. It's incredible.
I adapted to find a way that nobody thought of.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
I had recently before that I had recently developed a Python script to generate a JSON database of player database, for the game integration with ChatGPT
Yeah. Yeah,
before
that'd be
class.
cool.
And it was working, man. It was working, totally working. Developed by ChatGPT and DeepSeek.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, dude, DeepSeek
I
just released a new model this week too. Yeah, it's crazy. We got like all new models all around the board, like Opus, ChatGPT, DeepSeek. It's incredible.
one thing I like about DeepSeek is it was the first free model to integrate thinking deep reasoning.
Yeah, DeepSeek is really interesting. I mean, the whole like the premise of it, the idea that obviously China said that they didn't use DeepSeek is a model that was developed in China, and the whole point was that basically Biden created a tariff specifically on these semiconductor chips to limit the amount of foreign countries that could use them. The idea being that like the United States companies could get a jump on it. And basically, but they found out that they were using NVIDIA GPUs, and they weren't supposed to be able to get in, but they did actually train DeepSeek on the NVIDIA stuff. They got them smuggled somehow.
Yeah, that's a quite interesting story, because when I research deep down that they don't have actually latest equipment. They did that with a smuggled GPU from underpowered GPU. GPU, you ask me.
Exactly. Yeah.
And made a DeepSeek model. Just imagine that it's had a deep reasoning, deep thinking, and DeepSeek is fully free.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's awesome, man. I think that there's a lot of cool ones too. Z.ai has a really cool one too. I've been using I used them for a little bit. So yeah, man, there's a lot of cool models and stuff. I think we're like in a cool moment in time, man. It's really cool. It's really fun.
And do you know about Alibaba's coin?
I forgot which one is Alibaba's doing. I forget what their name was.
Alibaba's coin.
Oh, okay. Okay, interesting. Yeah.
And it is now and they are now marketing it as a whole AI studio.
Oh, with Olama. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, for sure, man.
Not the llama, but the whole coin model are now, coin studio called. It's not coin AI now. Coin studio.
That's cool. Yeah, so I guess basically people have studios. So for people that don't do development, but basically there's programs that basically can download and run these AI brains on your PC, on the PC itself, as opposed to having to go to these servers by these huge companies and stuff like that. You can actually run the AI locally. So yeah, it's really cool.
And Doc, before coding and all this TikTok stuff, I have a pretty wideness of hobbies and and technicality on all curiosity. I want to learn that. Learn. I want to learn. So before that, I have done a few dubbing works. Dubbing works. Do you know about dubbing works?
Dubbing works? No.
It's a localization project where you translate something from some language from another. Dubbing translation.
Okay.
but not just direct translation. It's not a direct translation, but a smooth lip syncable. No, not a word by word, but feeling, translation of feeling, not just a word. That's a thing about dubbing.
Interesting. Okay. I hadn't heard about
So
it. I'll have to look at it.
I tried to dub few things, few shows, but I got a dead end because copyright infringement in the big issues.
Nice. Nice, dude.
Copyright infringement. So you can't use the intellectual property. Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand that.
Do what you got to do, man. Do what you got to do. All right. Well, I love it, Sinish. I'm going to go try to get a debate or something. Try to see if I can lure one of these Republicans or something in for a debate. So it's always nice talking to you, man.
Yeah, it's nice to meet. It's really nice to talking to you, Doc, and hope we can meet again. And
Yeah.
also, one more thing. I'm now working on a public demo of my game. So
Okay, cool.
Once I did that, I will let you know.
Dude, that'd be awesome. I'm down. Very cool.
It won't be, it won't be perfect because I really didn't design the UI, and there might be a bug, and there might be a bug. I can always guarantee that might be a bug in every code.
Oh yeah,
somehow.
of course. Yeah. Well, yeah, dude. I'll run some codecs on it, and we'll see if I can improve it for you for sure.
And of course, and I'm going to release it on itch.io. Do you know about itch.io?
Hugging Face?
No, itch.io. It's a community for game developers. I think you
Oh
should know.
no, I don't know about it. Okay, cool. Nice, man.
I'm really sorry about that because that's not your field. That's not your field of interest.
It's okay. No, that's cool. Nice, man.
So, but yeah, I'll try to do my best, and from this experience, I'll try to improve my UI design in the future.
Okay.
So let's see what will happen.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. Claude's not going to do good at UI stuff, so maybe we could run it through ChatGPT or something and make some better design elements for you or something. We'll figure it out. I'll work with you, man. We'll make it good.
All right, Doc, and okay. See ya, Doc, and I will work on that after this live stream ends.
Okay. Sick, dude. All right, Sinish, always good talking to you, man. Have a good one.
I'll let you know on the public demo release. Okay.
Sounds good.
See ya.
All right, see ya. See ya, man.
All right.
Match settings. I don't know. Thank you. I don't know how to leave the thing. Oh, I had to go to co-host. I didn't do that. Oh, man. All right, guys. All right. This co-host there. Boom. Input output. The highest purity naturally occurring silicon dioxide in the world is found in the quartz mines in North Carolina. It's essential for modern fabrications. Oh, wow. That's interesting. I didn't realize that. The United States is trying to mine whatever they can, dude. It's crazy. It's just wild. We're trying. All right, guys. Boom, boom, boom. Canada and Australia are the two largest mining nations. Canada, Australia. Excuse me. Australia surprises me. Where are they mining in Australia? Canada, I know the tar sands, but I wonder where. Yes, they have so much land in Australia. You know what I mean? They could just mine the central part of it a ton, right? So they could have like tons of mining projects in Australia, and it doesn't really impact much any other than the natural, other than the environment. Why would you why would you care about that old thing? Yeah, I mean, any type of large land mass is just going to have a lot of space, right, for rare earth mineral deposits. So it's like, right, Russia, Canada, Australia, that all makes sense to me. You know, why there would be like mining going over there. The massive bugs. I would love to go to Australia just as a biologist, not to touch anything, but to just see everything, all the the crazy amounts of unique biology. I would love to do it. I would love to go there, just to explore. That'd be so cool. And so the surf is incredible there. It's like the highest percentage of surfers in the world, Australia. So that'd be really cool. Yeah. I don't know if it's brave. I was just like, as a biologist, I would just love to see all that kind of stuff, you know? You have family in Australia. Oh, that's cool, Hazel. Yeah. Like Australia is the one place that my wife and I agreed, like if there's anything, if it really does get that bad in the United States and we have to like flee, probably Australia is going to be the move, just because it's just, yeah, seems interesting. That'd be the place, I think. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Sorry, Ness. Sorry. You're like, what? You're going to hang out with our prisoners? Why would you want to hang out with our prisoners as opposed to us? Oh yeah, Hannah. Canada is trying to poach scientists from the United States for sure. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I love that. After finding a giant centipede in my house the other day, I'm wary of Australian bugs. They're gigantic. I haven't even moved to Australia, Ness, and you're already mad at me. Input, output. If you make it out there, check out the glowworm caves in New Zealand. Wait, what? The glowworm caves? That's wild. Yeah, for sure. That sounds... Intentions are everything. Oh, exactly. Apparently, yeah. Even the plants, guys. The pygmy plants, something like that, has like the needle, like this thistles that are like sharp as needles that you can't even see, and it's just like you get it in your skin, and they just will not come out. It's crazy. Which is better than too many scientists dying? Yeah, I mean, I think that we should investigate those stories, man. I don't know what to believe, you know. So it's kind of one of those things where we need more data. It's the little bugs. You know, it's funny. I was like, we were in our honeymoon in Costa Rica, and my wife's like worried about all these crocodiles, you know? And I'm like, there's crocodiles over there. And she like pointed to some crocodiles. or I don't know if they're alligators or not, but anyway, she's like, there's some crocodiles over there. And it was just like a crocodile that was laying down, you know, and we could see it. And I was like, oh, you don't need the crocodiles that you can see aren't the ones that you should be worrying about. It's the crocodiles you can't see. Those, because they're stealth hunters. So those are the ones that you need to actually worry about. And she was like, why would you think that telling me about the crocodiles that I can't see, why would you think that would calm me down? And I was like, well, I mean, you're looking at something that can't even attack you. Like crocodiles don't attack on land. So that thing's harmless. Don't even worry about that. Australia has the spiders the size of dinner plates. Yeah, I mean, that's legitimately, it's funny. I mean, the time travel question, you know, like where would you go if you could time travel? You know, like would you go in the future, in the past? I would honestly go back. I would go back in time to, if I could travel in the future or in the past, I would go back in time when insects ruled the world. That's the time that I would want. Like, dude, there used to be butterflies the size of like your wingspan. You know what I mean? 6 foot wide butterflies. There used to be, you know, freaking beetles and stuff, the size of like small cars, you know. So it's just so cool. Like dragonflies like flying around that are, you know, 6 foot wingspans. It's insane. It's incredible. Yeah, exactly, Dan. Yeah. The dinner plate sized spiders are huntsman spiders. Oh, okay. Nice, Twig. Good to know. Yeah, the assassin bugs. Those are cool. Those are cool, Twig. Snakes, no problem. Gators, cool. Giant cockroaches. We have a son that's like super into snakes right now. He's like super into it, and I'm like, I'm just saying, I'm like, we're probably need to get a pet snake at some time, and that's just, Mrs. Dr. G is not into that idea whatsoever. Not cool with that idea. And I'm like, you know, she's convinced that the snake will find its way as a prank into the bed, and she's not okay with that. I can understand the fear. I can understand that fear. Because as soon as you tell someone don't do this, like it's over. You know what I mean? That's definitely going to be what's happening. So it's like not a good idea. Don't even say it. I'll never forget when I was a kid getting my trampoline and accidentally put my hand in a frog. On a frog. Oh, I mean, a frog is totally chill, dude. Frogs are cool. We have giant frogs right where we live. Like we just, it's so sad. We are the suburban plight. And there's tons of frogs, and you can hear them when it rains. So I feel so bad. But yeah, it's awesome listening to them right now. A rattlesnake was on my elevated patio yesterday, and I let it keep sunning itself. Oh, there you go. Yeah, rattlesnakes are the little ones are the dangerous ones. He was the frog was chilling, and you were going crazy. Exactly. The top 10 poisonous snakes live in Australia. Yeah, I remember hearing that too. Yeah. No poisonous snakes, no poisonous insects, no spicy food. You know, there's nothing to fear in the UK. You know what I mean? There's no sun, no sunburns. You know, I mean, it's just you don't get to claim Indian food, okay? You don't get to claim Indian. That's not how it works. Glad I'm getting all the reasons not to visit Australia. My grand hit the kangaroo in the head with a golf ball while golfing in Australia. Oh no. I mean, it makes sense that there's going to be more bougie, like upscale food of Indian food in London for sure. Koalas are very cool. Koalas are very interesting. Very interesting organisms. Man, I had a nap before before the stream, and I was just like, I passed out for like an hour. It's like crazy. I did not mean to. Dad napped, hard dad nap, like a big dad nap, and I just like can't seem to wake up. I thought I was gonna be like, I was all right. I'm gonna have tons of energy for stream. Let's go get some good debates in. I can't wait, and yeah, I don't know, man. See you, Ness. Bye. If we hashtag Trump 2028, maybe we'll push it out to MAGA. I don't think that there is a lot of people that are super proud and happy to talk about MAGA right now. I mean, it's just the thing. It is one of those things where they are kind of like embarrassed. They don't really want to talk about it. Yeah, thank you. That'll get them. Yeah, it's hopefully maybe in the election year as we wind up, there's going to be more people that kind of like that want to talk about it, you know? But yeah. The problem is like when I'm in like this like debate show mode, I don't have like any backup like things that we could watch. I guess we could watch something Let's see. Let's think about something. Let's think about this. I'm a content creator. I'm going to make content. Okay. God. Do. Raw milk, not good. But not raw milk is the best hot chocolate for sure. That's the only way to drink raw milk. For sure. The benefit from it, she didn't really respond that well, and her cancer didn't really go into remission after it. Yeah, she didn't really. No, it's really, yeah, she just had yeah, ovarian cancer. Just didn't spread to her peritoneal space, and yeah, didn't last long. Oh, it's okay, Michelle. Thank you. Hi, Diana. Hi. She didn't catch it late. They refused to see her. She went in 3 times, and they refused. They turned her away 2 times. She said that she did not feel well, that there was a problem, asking to get a CAT scan, and she got turned away 2 times. And then a 3rd time, 6 months after the first time, she finally, they finally, after my dad was just like, you're gonna do a scan on her at least, because this keeps happening. And then they found the cancer after that. So yeah. Did you guys do no, there's not like malpractice. I think that the oncologist was just bad at his job. I think that there was they were just bad. I don't think malpractice is the right thing. I forgot to ask if Ness is missing her king right now that he's visiting Emperor Trumpel's. That's a good point. Yeah. Interesting. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. Yeah, yeah. Maybe if I had unlimited time and money, but I just don't. Because I have birth control, and I don't think birth control is poison. Yeah, the Mallours, yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I personally, I would probably be on an IUD. I would probably be on an IUD if I could. If that's just me, just because I'm not good at taking medications every day, so that's what I would do, probably. IUD. Okay. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah. What in the world is this, guys? This is two Trumpers debating on whether or not Trump has been successful. Let's see. Can you guys see this? Let's see. Here we go. Can you guys hear this? Yeah. This is the modern day debates intro for this? What is going on?
purgestore.com.
Oh my gosh.
In July in Dallas, that will feature 2 days of debates, including headline.
Oh my gosh, dude. Are you guys seeing this? This is modern day debates. This is their debate con. And at the bottom here, they have this Pharma Easy Bank thing. Ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, amoxicillin, azithromycin. What? What? How could you? What in the world? You can just get this online from these clinics that they have? What? What are they doing? They have a sponsor for one of these things? I don't know. I'm probably never going to be invited back to modern day debates. So, which is hilarious to me, dude. Like, these right wingers are so uncivil on these debates, and they're so toxic. But somehow I can't get invited back. I don't know. That's just weird. Weird to me, but whatever.
Debates with Andrew Wilson and Rachel Wilson. If you're watching online, check out the link as had to elite podcast platforms such as the Joe Rogan Experience and the PBD podcast. He is also the leader of the organization known as The Crucible. Please join me in welcoming Andrew Wilson.
Smoky man bad, they cry, they shout. Smoky man bad, but he snuffs them out with a flick of his wrist. The air is thick with his nicotine.
With that, we will be introducing the next full present form.
Dude, detox cleanses. Look at these sponsors, dude. Like nicotine, like detox cleanses. This is crazy. What is going on, man?
For tonight's format, crossfire sections. With that, I have the timer set for you. The affirmative going first. Andrew, the floor is all yours.
First and foremost, thanks all of you for being here. And before we do anything else, we got the legend Owen Schroyer. Can we give him a good round of applause?
What is this?
That said, you're still going to get stomped. So, first and foremost, let me clear up any misrepresentation when it comes to my views.
Dude, it's crazy. I think this is Debate Con 8. So I actually asked James to be on this Debate Con 8, trying to be one of these debaters. But now that I see the sponsors and stuff, I don't know if I would want to put my name. Well, I guess I don't know. I mean, I'm not sponsoring it. I'm not a spokesperson for it. It would just be really weird to be have my name and my basically getting money. They're getting money for this channel that's getting money from these sponsors. That'd be crazy, but whatever.
I am anti-Zionist and anti-Christian Zionist especially. I have done many debates on the topic, and I've won them all. I'm also very anti-Islam and consider the ideology just as poisonous as the ideology of Zionism, especially Christian Zionism. I am not a war supporter in Iran, and I never have been. I say this at the beginning of the debate, so when bad faith trolls who are on foreign accounts try to influence American politics in the comments, claiming that I'm in some way a Zionist, pro-Israel, pro-Islam shill, you can shatter the lies by simply showing them the beginning of this debate, which they won't even watch, and you and I can laugh at their stupidity together. That said, I also don't believe Jews or Arabs are ontologically evil just because they are Jewish or Arabic. I represent a worldview, and I believe...
What is he talking about? This is about the Trump presidency, and he's just going through a laundry list of who he hates and who he supports? What is going on?
believe there are stupid and evil ideologies in this world, and those are the things I debate against and resist on a political level. Today we debate if Trump has been successful as a president. Usually I would clear this up semantically and quickly with Owen, but we seem to have the same general notion about what success means and doesn't mean, so we will just get right to the heart of the debate. I'd like to begin by pointing out that Trump stopping two different left-wing women from becoming president and being the first president who's a woman should immediately default him to the position of a successful president.
Yeah, he's a misogynist. Like he doesn't want women to vote and stuff. It's like ridiculous. It's awful, insufferable.
As just that alone saved the nation from years of torment and suffering from the most insufferable vocal fried women the world has ever seen. That alone, I feel like, wins me the debate, but there's so much more. Starting on the pro-Christian side, office of faith, though I don't like who's in it, I like there's an office for it. Affirm via executive order there are two genders and revoke the idea of gender being different from sex. He signed an executive order stopping trans-surgical chemical alterations of children. He made Christmas Eve and the day after.
Oh yeah, Diana, this guy's awful. Doesn't Pete Kathis have close ties with Doug Wilson? Had him preach at the yeah, probably Hazel. I mean, these guys are. I mean, that's the thing is that these like right-wing influencer spheres. I mean, this guy right here was just on Joe Rogan. Like this guy, like it's crazy. The way that these right-wing influencers have just like a elevator to the top of American politics is it's insufferable. Meanwhile, I'm like emailing 70 different podcasts and I can't get a single reply. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I'm jealous. I guess I mean, at the end of the day, I'm jealous, I guess. I don't know.
Christmas federal holidays affirming Christian beliefs as the ones we celebrate.
Finally, Christians in America, guys. Finally. Whew. He's so brave.
He signed an executive order to eradicate anti-Christian bias in the government. He expanded school choice via executive order so we could remove our children from indoctrination center of atheists. He signed an executive order expanding Christian participation.
Yeah, of course I would do Jubilee. I actually, they were doing a call for climate change middle ground, and I emailed them. They said that I was a great fit. They said they wanted to do like an interview with me, and then they never emailed me back. So I don't know what happened. It went to a third-party casting director, and I never got a call back. So I'm actually kind of really bummed about that.
Adoption. He reinstated the Mexico City policy blocking U.S. tax dollars from promoting abortions in other nations. He enforced the Hyde Amendment to stop federal funding of abortions. He strengthened its conscientious protection for doctors and nurses who are against abortion. He supported religious charter schools. He directed the State Department to prioritize against Christian persecution abroad, just to name some of his policy.
That's it. It's all abortion stuff. That's the only thing.
Domestically,
as if that's like his whole ideology around Christianity is all about abortion. I mean, just give me a break, man. That's crazy.
Incredible. Net migration negative. More immigrants leaving than coming. Both legal.
Completely unproven. Do we really think that there's zero, not a single immigrant, illegal immigrant that's come through? Like, come on, man. Like, who believes these numbers and actually like believes with them? It's just crazy.
And illegal, which was his primary function in office from the standpoint of voters. And this is one of the few Western nations where that is the case currently, with limited exceptions. The Cato Institute, very pro-immigration, had to admit themselves that Trump has limited legal immigration even more than illegal immigration, negating the base fear from his own base that he would stop illegal immigration, ramp up legal immigration. He hasn't. Over 130,000 less per month just on the legal side. Real wage growth is up.
Yeah, because they're not doing it legally, guys. Like, that's the problem, is that people that are trying to do the good work to try to become citizens aren't going through the legal means anymore. So like that's not a win. That's just pushing more people into the shadows.
1.3% under Trump. It was negative under Biden. The federal workforce down 10%, which is excellent. Crime is down across the nation. Even Owen agrees with that.
Oh, I'm
the
sorry,
Overton
Heather.
window has shifted right on most national conversations, including LGBTQ and transgender ideology. This isn't even getting into the historic court cases like Roe v. Wade and Chevron, which undid huge injustices in the United States. These are just some of Trump's accomplishments among many. I just can't list them all due to time. The idea of Owen Schroyer and many other anti-Trump right-wingers is accelerationism. The glaring logical hole, of course, in that is all that happens is Democrats get power, make life worse for everybody, and then they just run back to Republicans to fix everything the Democrats did, and the entire time is spent by Republicans cleaning up the mess that Democrats and leftists left for us.
What kind of revisionist history? It really is wild to me, the world that these people live in. It's so incredible because it's like, it's so anathema to how I see the world that you're kind of like, you are kind of thinking like, am I the crazy one? You know, but then it's like, okay, wait, everyone in the world agrees with me. It's just MAGA and people like this guy that are on their own island in the entire world. Like nobody agrees with these guys except for American MAGA. Like that's it. Nobody in the world agrees with this guy's worldview.
It doesn't work and can't work in a two-party system. Ensuring Democrat control by denouncing Trump and Republicans just assures a packed Supreme Court, outrageous censorship, mass migration, expansion of gay agenda, feminism, and the movement of an anti-Christian and anti-Christ-driven world. You guys seem to forget we had Biden. It was awful. And rather than continue his policies, people elected Trump in
What was so awful about it?
Life under Democrats is fucking awful.
What's so awful about it?
You aren't going to get everything you want out of any administration. Trump is way too pro-feminist, pro-gay, and pro-Zionist for my personal liking, but we all knew that going in. He was still vastly superior to the alternative to Democrats and their cohorts, especially Harris, who wanted to roll back tax breaks
30 seconds.
and tax as an offset instead of tariffs, which is Democrat policy as usual. We knew Trump was pro-Israel. He moved the embassy to Jerusalem and tore up the Iran deal the first time around. We knew this was part of what we were getting when we elected him, including Owen Schroyer, who, by the way, was put in solitary confinement by Democrats and held, in my opinion, as a political prisoner. That's what's in store for us, right? Under Democrats. I will cede no ground to Democrats under any circumstances, as there's no alternative. There's nothing. You cannot give Democrats power, period. And with that, I'll cede the rest of my time, but just note that progressive ideology is always waiting to strike, and going against Trump is not going to help against that fight.
Thank you very much for that opening.
God, it's just so delusional, man. It's just so delusional and not connected to reality whatsoever. It's so crazy because just repeating things that he hears in his bubble. And it's just like this dogmatic belief that like Trump is just doing no wrong, and like it's just so wild, man.
We'll kick it over to Owen for his opening as well.
Well, the premise of this debate is, has President Trump been successful or not? The premise is not, are the Democrats a bad political party? I think that we all agree with that. So that is not the premise of the debate. And I feel that the very fact that we are having this debate shows that there is at least room for consideration that the Trump administration has not been successful. And while you do list off things that Trump has been successful on, and I will give credit to this administration on securing the border and lowering crime rates quickly on those issues, though, these are not things that we should have to beg for. These are not things that
they're already going down. They were already down during Biden. Like, what are these guys talking about? It's so crazy.
Consider a success. These should be things that are considered a standard. So really, that's more of a story of how corrupt our country has become, which gets to what this administration was supposed to be all about. It was supposed to be addressing the corruption head on in that collision and destroying it in the process. And I think it's fair to say that at least to this point, it's not happening. But here's some of the other issues that I think are going to be more important when it comes to, is Trump going to be successful? The economy. The vast majority of Americans still believe the economy is heading in the wrong direction. We have more Americans that are living paycheck to paycheck today than any other time in recent history. And as everybody is well aware, our national debt continues to go to record highs.
Wow. That's the first time that I've ever heard a Republican actually talk about national debt when the Republican is actually in the presidency. I give it to him. Never actually heard a Republican talk about the debt. Okay, that's cool.
It's the country that's in debt. The average citizen is in debt. It's so bad now that people are having to take out payment plans for pizza delivery. Now, you might not want to blame all of that on President Trump, and perhaps that's fair, but yet this is the economy ongoing under President Trump, and it doesn't help when anytime there's another war on the other side of the planet, we have billions of dollars to spend on that while the average American continues to struggle. So the economy...
I mean, he's just doing MAGA. I mean, he's just election brain, Trump. You know what I mean? This guy just feels that the premise of the Trump, he really bought into that. And that's the whole thing. This is like pragmatic versus idealistic right-wing conservatism. Yeah. But the reality is that the election Trump never existed. It was never possible. You can't deport 20 million people. That's what this guy wants. You know what I mean? Imagine the economy if we did deport 20 million people. The entire economy would collapse. So the idea that this guy is talking about the economy and also saying that we should be harder on immigration, more hardline. Like immigrants expand the economy. They expand the amount of jobs that are capable. Like it's just all the numbers say that.
I don't think you can claim has been a success. Tied into that is Doge, the Doge cuts. Elon Musk believed we could get $1 trillion in Doge cuts.
He's bringing it back. This guy, he loves it, dude. This guy, I love him. This is really funny, man. He's bought in, man. He really believed those headlines. He really thought that's so funny, man. This guy really doesn't believe that people can lie to him. He really doesn't believe that like Trump and Elon could just nakedly lie to you.
We got a couple 10 million and they stopped that. There's not going to be any Doge stimulus checks, whether you wanted that or not.
He's talking about Doge stimulus. Guys, bless this guy's heart. You know what I mean? Bless this guy's heart, dude. This guy, this guy's bringing Doge stimulus checks back. He's bringing Doge stimulus checks back, dude. No, Heather. This is 8 hours ago. Hey, STLA, how's it going? Hi, Diane, Sunshine. How are you? So funny, dude. He wants his Doge money.
So Doge getting cut out cold, I think, was a major failure. Barack Obama has deported more Americans than Donald Trump. Now,
that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Get into the details of that today. I will spare those details for the opening. I'm sure that this will come back up, but yet that fact remains. What about the deep state? President Trump himself has posted about treasonous politicians more times than we can count. So if there's politicians that are treasonous and you are the president, then I have to ask, where are the arrests? That's kind of the biggest crime you can commit in this country, and yet nobody has been arrested. Don't even get me started on the Epstein clients, which are apparently a hoax one day, and then the next day Melania Trump is addressing the nation on how the victims of the hoax need to speak to Congress. So I'm not sure where we want to go with that, but either way, no deep state arrests. Where are all the Epstein pedophile arrests? We're not getting those. These are things that people anticipated.
No, I mean, he is right.
Success there either. And by the way,
you got to give it to him. Like he is just going through the laundry list of everything that Trump did say, and Trump is wrong on so many things, you know. And it's like, yeah, I mean, he lied about all those things. It's just that this guy actually believed him. You know, I don't know. Like Trump is a con man. Like that's what this guy got conned, and now he's seen that, and it's like he's not okay with that.
As you mentioned, Trump's victory over the liberal women, which I think we'll all agree was a major victory.
Cringe.
He was not the president.
Dude, look at these guys. Like, what do they know about women? You know what I mean? God, it's so like these guys are so embarrassing. They think that they're peak masculinity. Guys, um, guys, we're not sending our best. Okay, you know what I mean? This is embarrassing. These guys are embarrassing us. Aren't? Can't we all agree? Like, this is bad. These guys are embarrassing. Eesh.
When that happened. He's never won an election as president. Just thought I'd point that out. As far as the office of faith is concerned, it seems to be going about the same way of the Board of Peace. Nothing but vanity, no real results. You talk about the anti-Christian bias that they're fighting, yet look at who Trump is working with now. He's making sure that Karine Jean-Bowler kicked off of the Religious Liberties Commission for her political takes. Yet Laura Loomer, who is a vehement anti-Muslim, anti-Catholic psychotic, somehow has the ear of President Trump. So I'm not sure if that's really working for the anti-Christian. You know, wage growth, that's going to be an interesting one. I'm sure we're going to get more into that. But I think it goes back to the general economic picture that whether it's Trump or anybody else, Americans are still struggling. And I think if we be honest here, if we're going to be honest, a lot of this economy is actually Trump's fault. And I know he likes to blame it on Biden, but if you go back and look at it, it was the COVID economy that caused the permanent damage. It was the COVID economy.
Yeah, these are two Republicans, an idealist versus a pragmatic Republican. So, I know, Gabby, it's so interesting. I mean, he is right in the fact that it was the COVID economy. It's interesting. He is saying here, COVID economy and not the Biden economy. So I'm really curious if he is specifying that specifically, or if like he's just saying a COVID era economy. You know what I mean? Because normally Republicans would say this is the Biden economy that did bad. And we all know Trump was the first year of the pandemic, guys. I don't know. Just that's how time works. Republicans, MAGA. Trump was president for the first year of the pandemic. I just want to let you know. So it's really interesting here that his framing
that resulted in 10 to 15 to 20% inflation. Those are Trump's policies. Now, Biden was obviously a disaster. I'm not here to promote anything Biden did, but that was the Trump economy. The COVID economy is the Trump economy. Now, as far as accelerationism is concerned,
just got a misinformation flag. I got a misinformation flag again. Oh my god. Dang it. It's not even a restream thing. It's not even I didn't even get a TOS violation. It was just like straight up that's funny. That's so funny. That's so frustrating. No, it wasn't. No, Amy, that's the thing. It wasn't unoriginal content. It was misinformation. He got flagged for misinformation. and my live visibility got hit. I don't know how the debaters do it. The debaters are like have a second line that they come in, and then they put the audio through. It's the same way that this guy's voice is coming through. So if I debated someone with the call in, it's the same way that this person would be calling in. So I don't understand how I'm getting hit with a misinformation flag, but the debaters that have the call-ins don't. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. What in the world? It's wild. I don't know what to do, guys. They were saying some weird things, but I don't know if it was like straight disinformation flag worthy. Do you know what I mean? That's the problem. I don't know if they're so honestly, TikTok's so heavy-handed with this stuff. I will be honest with you, it really is annoying to me. Like, even, I mean, you can't, sometimes it's like ridiculous. Like right now, like it's stupid. All right, guys. Well, I'm not feeling 100%, so I think this is just a good way to end it, because I don't know what to do from here, since there's going to be no one that wants to talk, and you kind of, it's just ran out of rope, ran out of road. Ladies and gentlemen, love you guys. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I will probably be taking, might stream tomorrow night and then take the next couple nights off after that. So probably stream tomorrow and then take the next couple nights off after that. But yeah. All right, guys. No, I mean, Dean and stuff, they have TikTok people that they know that they have like special protections against their account. So, yeah. All right, guys. Love you. Thanks for being up here. Appreciate you. I will, I'll talk to you soon. Okay. We'll see you soon, guys. If you're not already, please check out the YouTube channel, subscribe, watch the videos, watch the highlights, check it out. It really helps me a lot right now. I'm really trying to focus on YouTube. So, appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Okay. Bye.